Welcome to another episode of Sleepy Voyages. Tonight, we embark on a journey back to a time where the call for justice rang through the green expanses of Sherwood Forest. We find ourselves in an era filled with heroes, outlaws, and timeless lessons that continue to resonate with us today. This episode invites you to explore the legend of Robin Hood, a figure who has become synonymous with fighting for equality and standing up for what's right. Before we tuck you in tonight, voyagers of the night sky, we have a small but crucial request. As your eyelids grow heavy and the soothing tones of Sleepy Voyages guide you to the realm of dreams, remember the peace, serenity, and comfort that we bring to you every night, just as a lighthouse guides lost ships. In the darkness, your reviews help other restless dreamers find their way to us. By leaving a review and sharing your thoughts on your experience, you are reaching out to other insomniacs lost in the night, guiding them towards restful sleep. Take a moment before you drift away to click on the Leave a Review button on your podcast app. Help us extend our galaxy of tranquility to all those who seek the solace of sound sleep. And once you've done that, feel free to slip back under the covers of our sleep stories, ready to be whisked away on another sleepy voyage. Remember, your stars light the way for others. Every review, every rating helps us create a bigger, more beautiful universe of peace and rest. As we settle into this story, allow yourself to unwind and let the wisdom of the past guide you to a restful slumber. Our tale tonight is not just a bedtime story, but a reflection on the universal values that connect us all. May you find comfort, inspiration, and perhaps a new perspective on the world around you as you drift into the soothing world of Sleepy Voyages. Tonight, we venture into the heart of Sherwood Forest, home to the legendary Robin Hood, a symbol of justice, a beacon of hope. Robin Hood's tale resonates with many of us, even today. It's a story not just of thrilling adventures, but also of moral fortitude. It's about standing up for what is right, even when the world seems against you. It's about fighting for equality, ensuring that the rich do not oppress the poor, and at the core of our journey tonight is the understanding that we all have the power to make a difference. We all possess the courage to stand for justice. Allow your mind to wander into the depths of the forest, to imagine the clash of swords, the twang of a bowstring, but also the kindness, the compassion that binds us all together. Let the story of Robin Hood inspire you to reflect on your own life, your own choices. Are you living your truth, fighting for what you believe in? The answers may not come easily, but they reside within you, waiting to be discovered. And as you drift into sleep tonight, take with you the lessons of courage, justice, and equality, and let them guide you to a peaceful, more fulfilled life. The legend of Robin Hood is not just a tale of heroism, but a mirror reflecting our own potential, our own capacity to bring about change. So let your heart be light, your mind be calm. Gently close your eyes if you wish, or find a comfortable focus point in your surroundings. Take a slow, deep breath in through your nose, feeling the air fill your lungs, expanding your chest and belly. Hold it for a moment. Now, release the breath through your mouth, slowly and completely, letting go of any tension or stress. Feel the air leaving your body, taking with it the worries of the day. Let's repeat this breathing pattern together. Inhale, feeling your body fill with calming energy. Hold. And exhale, releasing everything that doesn't serve you. Inhale once again. This time, imagining the refreshing forest air of Sherwood. Hold. And exhale, feeling a connection to the natural world, to the stories of old, to the timeless struggle for what's right. Continue this pattern of breathing at your own pace, letting each breath guide you deeper into relaxation, preparing your mind and heart for the lessons of Robin Hood. The gentle rhythm of your breath is a bridge to a time long ago, to a place where valor and virtue danced under the watchful eyes of towering oaks. Feel free to stay with this breathing as long as you need. When you are ready, the tales of heroism and honor await, wrapped in whispers from Sherwood Forest. You are safe, you are cared for, and you are about to embark on a sleepy voyage that connects us all in the pursuit of fairness, compassion. Breathe and be at peace. Deep in the heart of England lies a realm untouched by time. Sherwood Forest, a sanctuary of ancient oaks and whispering pines, stands tall and proud, sheltering the creatures that call it home. The trees, with their gnarled limbs and thick foliage, weave a tapestry of green, allowing only slivers of sunlight to dance on the forest floor. A gentle breeze stirs the leaves, creating a soft symphony that resonates through the wilderness. Here, in this mystical forest, legends are born amongst the shadows and hidden glades. A figure of justice roams, a beacon of hope for those oppressed, a world where inequality is challenged and where the call for justice is as persistent as the wind. This is the world of Robin Hood, a timeless tale that beckons us to explore deeper truths in this secluded haven, away from the hustle and bustle of city life. Robin and his band of loyal followers have made their home. Their mission is simple yet profound: to restore balance where imbalance has taken root, to give voice to the voiceless, and to fight for those who cannot fight for themselves. With bow and arrow in hand and a heart filled with determination, Robin Hood's legend is not just a story, but a reflection of our innermost desires for equality and justice. It's a tale that transcends generations, connecting us to something greater, something that reminds us of our shared humanity. In the quietude of Sherwood Forest, we find a mirror to our own world, a gentle reminder of what it means to stand up for what's right, even when the odds are stacked against us. A reminder that every one of us can make a difference, no matter how small, in the pursuit of a fairer, more compassionate world. Sherwood's call is eternal, its message everlasting, beckoning us to listen, to learn, and to take the path less traveled. Visualize the ancient Sherwood Forest, a place where time seems to stand still. The towering oak trees stretch upwards, their gnarled branches weaving a thick canopy that filters soft, dappled sunlight onto the forest floor. Moss and ferns carpet the ground, adding a touch of green to the landscape, while the gentle rustle of leaves whispers the secrets of nature's wisdom. A meandering stream cuts through the clear waters, sparkling as they dance over smooth stones and pebbles. Wildflowers dot the landscape, their vibrant hues adding splashes of color to the otherwise muted palette of greens and browns. The subtle scent of damp earth mixed with the fragrance of blooming flowers fills the air, creating a sense of peace and tranquility. In the distance, a melodic song of a nightingale begins to play, joined by the soft cooing of doves and the occasional chirp of a hidden cricket. This is a place untouched by the outside world. It's in this very forest that our story takes place. A story of heroism, justice, and the timeless fight for equality. Sherwood Forest is not just a backdrop to the tale. It's a living, breathing character, a symbol of the natural order and harmony that exists beyond the reach of human greed and corruption. Envision the dappled sunlight filtering through the dense canopy of Sherwood Forest. Feel the earthy scent. The forest is a place of equilibrium and balance. Every tree, every leaf, every bird and beast has its unique place, contributing to the harmony of the whole. It's in this forest that Robin Hood and his band of merry men find solace, equality in a world outside where injustice reigns. Sherwood Forest becomes a sanctuary, a symbol of fairness and righteousness. In the heart of Sherwood Forest, a band of merry men thrived under the leadership of a man known only as Robin Hood. Robin was not just a skilled archer, but a symbol of justice, a beacon of hope to the impoverished. His merry men were a diverse group, each with unique talents and stories of their own. Little John, Robin's right-hand man, was as loyal as he was strong, a gentle giant whose presence was comforting to all. Friar Tuck, a jovial and wise priest, provided spiritual guidance, his laughter as hearty as his appetite. Maid Marian, Robin's love, was as brave and cunning as the men. Her compassion and intelligence were key to many a victory. The Sheriff of Nottingham, a man whose cruelty knew no bounds, was the embodiment of the inequality that Robin and his men fought against. These characters were more than mere names. They were embodiments of virtues and vices, mirroring the complexities of human nature. Together, they painted a picture of a time where the line between right and wrong, and where the courage to stand up for justice, could ignite a spark to change the world. Their adventures were lessons not just in heroism, but in empathy, humility, and the relentless pursuit of fairness. Through the characters, the legend of Robin Hood transcended the bounds of mere folklore, becoming an eternal narrative that continues to inspire us to look within ourselves and find the courage to fight for what is right. In the heart of Nottingham, a city bustling with life and commerce, there lies a dividing line that is all too clear to its inhabitants. The wealthy aristocrats, adorned in fine silks and jewels, revel in their luxurious lives, untouched by the struggles of those beneath their station. On the other hand, the common folk, the hard-working people of Nottingham, toil day and night, yet they find it increasingly difficult to make ends meet. This stark divide did not emerge overnight. It was cultivated through years of unjust taxation and an unequal distribution of resources that favored the elite. As the rich grew richer, the poor found themselves trapped in a cycle of poverty, unable to escape the confines of their social class. The cries of the oppressed were largely ignored by those in power, as the laws were manipulated to suit the whims of the privileged. Children went to bed hungry, the elderly suffered without proper care, and the young men and women of Nottingham were left to dream of a life that seemed forever out of reach. It was a time when the ideals of fairness and equality seemed like distant fantasies, overshadowed by the harsh realities of life. In those days, the voice of justice was but a faint whisper, drowned out by the clangor of greed and corruption. Yet, within this disheartening landscape, a spark of hope was about to be ignited. A hero was rising, someone who would not stand idly by as injustice festered. The people of Nottingham may have felt forgotten, but they were not alone. In the shadows of Sherwood Forest, a man was watching, a man who understood their pain and who would soon step forth to challenge the status quo. Inequality in Nottingham was not simply a condition, it was a wound that needed healing, and the time had come for a bold and compassionate soul to take up the cause of the downtrodden. That man was Robin Hood, and his legend was about to begin. In the lush greenery of Sherwood Forest, there was a world both simple and complicated. Trees stood tall, their roots buried deep, intertwined in an intricate web of support, each of them connected. Just as the trees were diverse, so were the inhabitants of the world beyond the forest. But unlike the trees, they were not always supportive of each other. Nottingham was a microcosm of the larger world, and in it, the stark disparity between the rich and the poor was evident. To understand this disparity, one needs to travel back in time. Historically, accumulation of wealth often began with access to resources, be it land, minerals, or trade routes. Over time, those who controlled these resources created systems to protect and expand their wealth, the very systems that should have equally protected everyone began to work in favor of a few. Trade laws, tax codes, and even seemingly unrelated social customs all began to favor those already in power. As these privileged groups grew in wealth, they solidified their positions through alliances, strategic marriages, and often sheer force. In this dance of power, many were left out, stripped of their rights, their voices, and their dignity. The poor in Nottingham were no strangers to this cycle. They watched as tax collectors took more than what was due, leaving them with barely enough to feed their families. But it wasn't just about money. The inequality was entrenched in the way they were treated, the opportunities they were denied, and the voices they were not allowed to raise. Robin Hood saw this. He saw the children with hollowed eyes, the elderly too weak to protest, and the young men and women with dreams crushed under the weight of an unjust system. The origin of inequality is a complex tapestry of power, greed, and systems that perpetuate these imbalances. But as the legend of Robin Hood teaches us, it's also a call for each of us to be aware, to question, and to act. It reminds us that while origins are rooted in the past, the path to change lies in the present, in our hands, waiting to be shaped. In a time when the divide between the rich and the poor grew wider each day, Robin Hood saw the injustice that pervaded the streets of Nottingham. He knew that something had to be done. It was a cold and misty night when Robin decided to embark on a mission that would demonstrate his commitment to equality. A wealthy nobleman, known for his greed and disregard for the common folk, was travelling through Sherwood Forest with a chest of gold coins. These coins were obtained through heavy taxation and exploitation, causing immense suffering to the ordinary people. Robin, cloaked in shadows, carefully observed the nobleman's carriage as it lumbered through the forest, led by horses with decorated bridles. With his trusted band of merry men, Robin prepared a plan. They would intercept the carriage and redistribute the ill-gotten wealth to those who needed it most. In the stillness of the forest, with only the sound of the wind rustling the leaves, Robin's men got into position. As the carriage approached the planned spot, they sprang into action, skillfully stopping the horses and surrounding the carriage. Fear was evident in the eyes of the nobleman, but Robin's words were calm and firm. He explained that the gold would be returned to the people, to those who had been wronged and oppressed. He assured the nobleman that no harm would come to him if he cooperated. The nobleman, realizing he was in no position to argue, complied. The gold was carefully collected, and Robin's men vanished into the forest as quietly as they had come. In the days that followed, the gold was distributed to the poor families of Nottingham. Warm meals were served, debts were paid. The people knew that someone was looking out for them, standing up against the inequality that had become a painful norm in their lives. Robin Hood's act was more than a mere theft. It was a call for justice, a reminder that compassion and fairness were virtues worth fighting for. In the eyes of the downtrodden, Robin became a hero, not for his skill with a bow or his bravery in battle, but for his unwavering commitment to equality and justice. Inspired many to believe that change was possible and that the fight for a more equitable world was a cause worth championing. This singular act of heroism became a defining moment in the legend of Robin Hood, a man who was unafraid to challenge the status quo, who stood up for what was right, and who gave a voice to those who had been silenced by injustice. In the heart of Sherwood Forest, Robin Hood's legend began to take form. His escapades were not merely tales of adventure. Each day in the forest brought a new challenge, a new opportunity to right the wrongs in Nottingham. One memorable day, Robin stumbled upon a group of nobles, flaunting their wealth, oblivious to the suffering of those less fortunate. Robin's eyes narrowed, but his heart was calm. With precision and grace, he challenged them to an archery contest, confident in his unparalleled skill. The nobles laughed at first, but soon found themselves bested by the mysterious archer. As their faces turned pale, Robin revealed his identity, teaching them a lesson they would not soon forget. His victory was not just a personal triumph, but a symbol of justice for the people. Another time, Robin Hood and his merry men happened upon a heavy-laden carriage on a dusty road. The carriage belonged to a wealthy merchant who had built his fortune on the suffering of others. Robin knew that the gold in the carriage could feed the hungry, clothe the cold, and bring joy to the children of Nottingham. With a plan quickly formed, Robin and his band relieved the merchant of his ill-gotten gains, redistributing the wealth to those who needed it most. These acts were not mere thievery. They were a call to consciousness, a demand for justice and compassion in a world often lacking both. Through his escapades, Robin Hood became a beacon of hope, a figure who defied the oppressive system. He was not driven by personal gain, but by a deep-seated belief in fairness and equality. His actions spoke louder than words, and his legend grew, inspiring generations to believe that one person could make a difference in the hearts and minds of the common folk. Robin Hood was more than a hero. He was a symbol of justice and a reminder that hope was never entirely lost. Robin's legacy continues to resonate today, urging us to stand up for what is right and to fight for a world where equality is not just a dream but a reality. Robin was a master of disguise and ingenuity. He roamed the countryside, always watchful, always knowing where the excess of the wealthy could be turned into the sustenance of the impoverished. In one memorable instance, Robin Hood learned of a wealthy baron who had amassed grain during a time of famine, hoarding it to sell at inflated prices. Along with his merry men, planned to redistribute this vital resource. Under the cover of night, they snuck into the baron's granary. Silently, with skill and care, they gathered sacks of grain. As dawn broke, the people of a nearby village awoke to find stacks of grain at their doorstep. A note pinned to the sack, simply stating from a friend. They knew not from where it had come, only that their children would not go hungry that day. In another instance, Robin Hood heard of a corrupt tax collector who would take more than his share, filling his coffers, while the common folk struggled to make ends meet. Robin Hood devised a scheme to right this wrong. Posing as a beggar, he approached the tax collector's carriage on a narrow forest road. With a flourish, he revealed his true identity, and with a quick flick of his wrist, the tax collector's purse was in his hand. The coins inside, tarnished with greed, were returned to the people, distributed to families who had been wronged, easing their burdens, if only for a little while. These stories were not isolated acts, but a pattern, a way of life for Robin Hood and his merry men. They became symbols of hope for the downtrodden. The acts were not about revenge or bitterness. They were about balance, about taking what was hoarded unjustly and returning it to those who needed it most. They were lessons in empathy and compassion, in understanding that true wealth is found not in possessions, but in community and caring for one another. These tales of Robin Hood's generosity and bravery were whispered from village, passed down through generations, turning a man in green into a legend that reminded everyone that injustice could be challenged, that the powerful could be held to account, and that kindness could be a revolutionary act. Every coin taken from the rich and given to the poor was a statement against inequality, a stand for fairness, and a gesture of genuine kindness. The true beauty of his giving lay not in the act itself, but in the spirit with which it was carried out. It was a spirit of understanding the shared human experience, of recognizing that we are all connected. This connection went beyond material possessions. It was a realization that the joy, sorrow, triumph, and struggle of one were felt by all. Robin Hood's legend teaches us that giving is not merely a transaction. It is an expression of humanity, an acknowledgement of our collective journey. He reminds us that true wealth is not found in gold or jewels, but in the richness of relationships, the warmth of community, and the joy in helping others. The essence of giving, according to Robin Hood's ethos, is not to give till it hurts, but to give until it heals. The legend invites us to look within and ask ourselves what we can give, how we can connect, and in what ways we can contribute to healing the divides in our world. It challenges us to be more than passive observers, to become active participants in a tale of empathy, compassion, and justice that is as relevant today as it was in the days of Nottingham's most famous archer. For in giving we receive, in understanding we are understood. This timeless lesson from Robin Hood's adventures resonates not just in storybooks, but in the very fabric of our daily lives, encouraging us to embrace giving as a pathway to a more equal, compassionate, and connected world. The winds of change had been blowing through Sherwood Forest, and the people of Nottingham had begun to believe in a brighter future. Robin's determination, his sense of justice, and his fearless commitment to the poor had brought him to this critical juncture. He was no longer just a rogue archer hiding in the shadows. He had become a symbol of hope, a beacon of fairness. The Sheriff of Nottingham had long been an agent of oppression. He had taken from the poor and hoarded riches without regard to decency or empathy. The confrontation between Robin and the sheriff was not just a personal battle. It was a fight for the soul of a society torn apart by injustice. The stage was set in the sheriff's castle. As Robin stepped into the grand hall, his eyes met the sheriff's. Their clash was not merely physical. It was a struggle of ideologies, a contest between greed and benevolence, between dominance and compassion. With each thrust and parry, Robin was fighting for those who had no voice, for the weary, the downtrodden, the forgotten. He was not merely a hero of legend. He was a manifestation of the people's desire for a world where every person, regardless of birth or status, had an equal chance at happiness. The battle raged, neither side yielding, a dance of wills that transcended mere swordplay. Robin's heart was true, his aim unerring, and then, with final deft maneuver, the sheriff was defeated. His reign of inequality ended. In that moment, the triumph was not Robin's alone. It was a victory for all those who believed in fairness, in the possibility of a world where the scales were balanced. The people of Nottingham rejoiced, not because a villain had been vanquished, but because a principle had been upheld. The triumph of equality was not just a storybook ending. It was a profound testament to the enduring human spirit, to the belief that justice could prevail. In the shadows of Sherwood, the legend of Robin Hood was sealed, a legend that would forever remind us that no matter the odds, The fight for equality and justice is a fight worth fighting. Robin Hood's choices to take from the wealthy and redistribute to those in need did not just alter the lives of the poor momentarily, they sparked a deeper transformation. The gifts, once symbols of power and opulence in the hands of the rich, became something entirely different in the hands of those who had nothing. A piece of gold, a fine garment, or a loaf of bread, when given with empathy and compassion, transcended mere objects. They became symbols of hope and dignity. A single gold coin could mean the difference between despair and aspiration. It could provide the means to mend a leaky roof, purchase a seed to plant in the spring, or simply enjoy a hearty meal that brought warmth to a hungry family. A garment once worn by a noble could provide warmth to a child, or make a hard-working mother feel elegant and dignified. Even if just for a fleeting moment, these acts of generosity created a ripple effect in the community. They inspired a sense of unity and the belief that goodness and fairness could prevail. The sense of equality Robin Hood fostered reached beyond mere material possessions. It instilled a spirit of community, cooperation, and shared humanity. It taught those in poverty that they were not alone. It also demonstrated to the wealthy that their riches were not merely a birthright, but carried a responsibility to consider the well-being of others. However, the gifts were more than just material objects. They were a powerful statement about what society could be if only we recognized our shared humanity. In a world often divided by status and wealth, Robin Hood's actions were a testament to the power of empathy and the profound impact that simple acts of kindness can have on the lives of others. Imagine a world where the scales of justice are perfectly balanced. Envision a society where each person, regardless of their birthright or wealth, has access to the same opportunities and rights. See yourself standing in a bustling town square. Around you, people are trading goods, children are playing, and all faces are marked with smiles. In this vision, everyone has enough, and no one is left wanting. Now, shift your focus to a grand banquet table filled with food, surrounded by people from all walks of life. The rich and the poor sit together, sharing a meal, laughing, enjoying the company of their fellow human being. In this world, the barriers that once separated individuals have crumbled. The walls that divided rich from poor, nobles from peasants, have vanished. The sense of community is palpable, and a gentle warmth fills the air. Robin Hood's mission has reached its pinnacle in this vision. His fight for equality has fostered a community that thrives on fairness, compassion, and understanding. Breathe in this vision of equality. Let it fill your mind and soul. Let it be a reminder that the pursuit of justice and equality is a noble cause, and within it lies the potential for true harmony and peace. This world may be a dream, a beautiful dream. Take one more deep breath. Robin Hood's endeavours were driven by a profound sense of righteousness, but his triumphs, no matter how extraordinary, could never be permanent. Why? The answer lies in the very fabric of the society he was fighting against. Inequality, a vast and pervasive issue, extended beyond mere financial disparities. It was rooted in the social order, ingrained in the laws, the customs, the very way of life. Robin's actions were seen by many as valiant attempts to rectify imbalance, to provide relief to those suffering under the weight of an unjust system. But each act of generosity, each coin handed over to the poor, was but a small ripple in a vast ocean of systemic inequality. He was one man against a structure that had been built over generations, a structure fortified by those in power, by those who benefited from maintaining the status quo. Robin's vision of justice and equality was in direct conflict with this deeply entrenched system. His acts of kindness were temporary, immediate solutions to a problem that was far more complex. They were patches on a wound that required profound healing. Inequality is not merely a product of individual acts of greed or corruption. It is a manifestation of a deeply flawed system that rewards the privileged and neglects the disadvantaged. Robin Hood's legend is a reminder to us all that fighting for justice is noble, but achieving true equality requires more than individual acts of valor. It requires a collective effort to reform the very foundations of our society. It requires us to look beyond immediate injustices and to question the systems that perpetuate inequality. For as long as the structure remains unchanged, the fight for justice and equality will remain an unending battle. The legend of Robin Hood is not just a tale of heroism, but a poignant reflection on the persistent structural barriers to equality and fairness that continue to challenge us even today. Each of us must ask ourselves what we can do to contribute to a fairer and more just society, recognizing that the path is arduous and the solution far from simple. Inequality is structural, and only through concerted, systemic change can we hope to create a world where justice and fairness are not just ideals, but realities. Albin's story ends not with a final victory, but with a call to continue the fight, a call that resonates with us still, inviting us to take up the mantle of justice, equality, and compassion in our own lives, in our own ways, always mindful of the structural complexities that we must navigate. His legacy is not one of resolution, but of inspiration, a beacon guiding us toward a more just and equal world. Allow your mind to rest in the peaceful embrace of Sherwood Forest, a place where equality and justice danced together under the green canopy. Take a moment to sense the tranquil energy of Robin Hood's world, where valor and kindness reign with each gentle breath. Let the lessons of equality, justice, and selflessness settle deep within your heart. Imagine the soft rustle of the leaves, a whisper of nature's balance and harmony that cradles you in serenity. Feel a gentle connection to the world around you. Visualize yourself as a mighty oak in the forest, grounded and strong, yet flexible and compassionate, a symbol of endurance and grace in the safety of your own space. Allow these reflections to wash over you, nurturing your soul and soothing your mind. The tale of Robin Hood reminds us that we all have the capacity to make a difference, to fight for justice, and to be warriors of compassion. As you drift closer to the realm of dreams, let this story be a gentle guide to a more empathetic and just path in your waking life. May your sleep be peaceful and your dreams be filled with the courageous spirit of Robin Hood, who stood for equality and justice in a world that needed his light. Rest now, for the journey into sleep has begun, and the warmth of Sherwood awaits to embrace you in its tender arms. We are walking together through the soothing Sherwood Forest. Feel the gentle breeze against your skin. Imagine the soft rustling of the leaves in the towering trees above. The distant sounds of a gentle stream carry a comforting melody to your ears. Your eyes may feel heavy as you listen, and that's completely normal. If you feel the pull of sleep, allow yourself to succumb to it. Robin Hood's world is a place of fairness and justice, where each person is seen for who they truly are. Your bed is a safe haven, just like the Sherwood Forest was for those seeking refuge. Allow your body to become heavy, sinking deeper into the mattress. Your thoughts can slow down, just like the calm pace of life in the forest. You don't have to do anything right now, but relax. In Robin's world, all were equal, and the wealth was shared among those in need. Your sleep, too, is a treasure to be embraced. Let go of the worries and stresses of the day. You deserve this rest. Imagine yourself lying on a soft bed of moss beneath the sheltering trees of Sherwood Forest. Everything is calm here, and you are safe. Sleep is calling to you like a soft lullaby sung by the nightingale. You may drift off at any moment, and that's perfectly fine. Your dreams await you. Embrace sleep's gentle embrace, just as Robin Hood embraced the cause of equality and justice. Your journey into slumber is a natural and beautiful part of life, just as natural and beautiful as the legend of Robin Hood. Rest now, knowing that the values of justice, fairness, and compassion are nestled in your heart, guiding you even as you sleep. Good night, sleepy voyager. Have a good night.